The first time I really struggled in school was when I took a course on US history during 9th grade. That class was the epitome of what I didn't like about high school. I had to memorize countless meaningless facts out of a textbook that was quite possibly heavier than I am. Seriously, I should have gotten my physical education requirements just for carrying it to and from class. Eventually, I got so tired of it, I just stopped bringing my book at all. My teacher found out about this, and she was not so pleased. In fact, she decided that for every time I didn't bring my book to class, I'd have to serve detention after school. So the next day, I came to class, once again empty-handed. My teacher sent me to detention, and this actually continued on for about a month, before my teacher approached me and said, "I don't understand why you refuse to bring your book to class every single day, knowing I'm going to send you straight to detention." I tried to respond to her quite simply. I said, "The reason is I was actually leaving my book in the detention room, because that was the one place where I was completely free from distractions. There was no television to watch, no Sarah from math class, no games to play, no Annie from physics class. The list goes on and on." I don't think my teacher really appreciated the answer, but I kept going to detention, and in the end, I actually got an A in the class. At the time, I thought I was being pretty clever, but now, looking back, I realized that forcing myself to study like that was actually the least effective way for me to learn and grow as a student. Back then, my only mindset was doing whatever it took to succeed in school. It wasn't until my senior year of high school, when I started learning about entrepreneurship, that I realized I need to rethink my approach to education in order to truly develop myself as a person. Unfortunately, not many schools have classes on entrepreneurship, but I like to believe that we're all born with a certain entrepreneurial spirit inside of us, a creative side that's always trying to make something out of nothing, or in this case, fuse two ideas together to make something completely new. If you don't believe me, ask kids how they get presents for their parents without any money. I remember one year, I made a special little coupon book for my mom. It said things like, "I'll take out the trash one time or wash the dishes for free." Of course, when she went to redeem the coupons, they were usually expired. I think she appreciated the sentiment nonetheless. Another year, I thought to myself, well, I have to make up for that one. I'll get my mom a pair of diamond earrings. So I went into her drawer, picked out her favorite pair, wrapped them up in a little box, and waited to see what she would do. For weeks before her birthday, she was frantically searching the house, and I could only think she would be so pleased to finally open my present and find them. Needless to say, she was just about as pleased as my US history teacher. As I learned more about entrepreneurship during my senior year of high school, I started playing around with some ideas for how I could start my own business. This time, I was sure to stay away from illegitimate coupons and theft. Every time I tried a new idea, I came into some obstacles, and sometimes they went okay, but by the end of high school, they had all completely failed. However, they were some of my favorite failures, because every time I tried to create something new, I learned lessons about entrepreneurship, and even more importantly, I discovered how I can become a greater learner in all aspects of my life. These are lessons that I wouldn't have been able to learn if I hadn't tried something new, lessons that they didn't teach me in the classroom. So today, I'd like to share with all of you what I believe to be the 3 biggest lessons that students can learn from entrepreneurship, and how even if they don't start their own businesses, they can use these lessons in order to forever become better learners. The first lesson is that entrepreneurs aren't afraid of failure. Of course, everyone would like to succeed, but the fear of failure should not stand in your way from going out and doing something. Because even if you do fail, you can at least learn something from that experience that you wouldn't have otherwise known. Knowledge that you can continuously use to improve your chances for success. Take Nintendo, for example. How many of you are familiar with Nintendo? Right, it's a great video game company. But when they first started out, they actually sold playing cards. And when that didn't work, they tried becoming a taxi company, hotel chain, and even a TV network, before they finally found success as one of the world's biggest video game companies. Unfortunately, in traditional schools, students are taught that the worst thing you can do is to fail. This idea leads students to believe that the key to success is by always being as prepared as possible, so that when the time finally comes to test their knowledge, they'll be able to succeed on their very first try. In reality, the most successful people are not the ones that are most prepared or the ones that always succeed on their first try. Rather, they're the ones that learn to embrace failure, learn from their mistakes, and are always willing to try and try again. This is also a reason for why so many students cheat in school. They find that without the reason of having to be able to fix their mistakes, they're pressured to only do that. The second reason that the students can learn from entrepreneurship and apply to school is the value of problem-based learning. Most businesses don't actually start with solutions. Instead, they start with problems. Many of the most successful businesses started because an entrepreneur found an unsolved problem and set out to do whatever it took to find the solution. Most entrepreneurs are known for being able to collect a vast amount of knowledge quickly and effectively because they're learning with purpose, because they know that everything they do plays a part in solving the problem that they've set out to find the solution for. Unfortunately, in schools, students don't have this mindset. They're thinking, rather than solving problems, what can I do in order to succeed and get a good grade? We need to shift this mindset away from doing whatever it takes to succeed in school so students can start thinking about how they can use their knowledge to actually make a difference. So back to the cheating point is that another reason is students feel that if they can do whatever it takes to get a good grade, then they'll be able to be successful in the long run. However, they're not thinking, how can they use their knowledge to actually make a difference? They're thinking, how much of the final exam is my grade made up of, rather than how can I use that knowledge in order to actually create something that people will want to use. Now, the third and final lesson that I'd like to impart is the value of straying from the norm. The most successful businesses actually don't have very much in common, because what makes them so successful is how unique they are from one another. The best entrepreneur is not the one that outperforms all the competition, but the one that avoids the competition and creates something truly innovative and new. Unfortunately, our schools are designed to promote standardization and conformity. They're designed to turn out smarter and smarter students with a stronger focus on science, technology, engineering, and math. The majority of students treat school like a game that they've been learning to play since they were age 4. And many of them are very good at it. They'll probably go on to graduate from great colleges, but unfortunately that is not enough anymore, because the college degree in and of itself is becoming less and less useful, and it's becoming harder to get a job with just a degree, especially in a non-STEM field. We need students to start thinking more innovatively and solve new problems in fields that others don't. In order to do this, we need to foster a mindset of a revolutionary type of learner. We need to teach students to stop treating school like a game that they have to win. Throughout their education, students are taught to look outward for answers and guidance, but they're so rarely taught to look inward and understand themselves as individuals. By teaching students how to approach problems with an entrepreneurial mindset, they'll be able to actually understand themselves at a deeper level, to find out what gets them eager and excited to take action, to find how they can use their strengths to the fullest. And this knowledge is invaluable in whatever endeavor they choose to undertake. Albert Einstein once said that everybody is born a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is dumb. Any student can sit down and force themselves to do whatever it takes to succeed in school. But if we want students to reach the height of their potential, we need to teach them to learn with purpose. It is not enough to present students with knowledge. We must help each individual find personal value in learning, so they can take charge in their education in order to better themselves and better the world around them. Thank you.